Hey you guys, I'm back with another video, but this time I'm taking it to the spiritual side of things, talking about God. And first off, I'm gonna start with Genesis and talk about the Garden of Eden and what it holds to me, the valuable to me, because as you can see, this is a stone, onyx stone. It's black, as you can tell. In the Garden of Eden, it was talking about starting with verse 12. And the gold of the land is good. There is bdellium and onyx stone, and the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia, and the name of the third river is Hiddekel, that is which goeth toward the east of Assyria, and the fourth river is Euphrates. Yeah, talking about that in Adam and Eve and the creation of man and woman. Woman actually started from a man out of his rib. He first he brought man from dust. He made man out of the dust particles. Then he breathed life into his nose, and then he made man fall into a deep sleep, and then he breathed life into him. And this was the start of Word of God. And just to give you a good overview about Adam and Eve and them eating from the tree of good and evil, and just to give y'all an overview of that, you know, book or whatever. And that's not what I'm here for right now. I'm gonna get back to the real reason I came to y'all with a video is about David and Goliath and what you can do in this similar situation as it relates to real life. You know, as you can tell, you can tell he was a spoiled child, or like he had brothers, and he was the youngest child, and nobody would pick him, or nobody would recognize him. He never did get recognized for anything in his family. But one day he was called to get he was called to bring his brother's lunch or whatever, and his dad lunch. But God didn't want him to do that. He was called. He was called from God to do a miracle. See, at the time they was fighting um the enemies at the time in the Old Testament. They were fighting a war against them, and nobody really went against the army, the people that was on Goliath's side, because they were a strong army and they overtook many lands. But God called David. David was ready. David was the only one to stand up and fight. As you can tell, David was not into fighting. He was green to fighting. He wasn't a fighter. He was just a little shepherd's boy, a shepherd's man, a good boy. But God called him, as you can tell. And I just want to give y'all a little backstory about that. It's all in the mind. You can be the biggest man, but you can fall. It's all in your mind. You can be the strongest man, have all these muscles, but you gonna fall one day. It's all in your mind. If you got a strong mind, you can overcome anything. You can overcome the worst situations. You can overcome anything in life if you have a strong mind. But if you have a weak mind, you will fall into temptations and sin as quick as possible. It's not about what you do every day. It's about keeping a balance with God, keeping a relationship with God, renewing your relationship, praying and that sorts of things. It's just, keeping in touch with Him and taking your cross up every day. And that's just, a little something I have for y'all. Catch y'all another time.